everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the movie Look Both Ways. I'm not going to go through every single story or every single scene, but I'm going to tell you random moments that happen, how it ended, so there are spoilers, but if you want to watch the whole movie, you can go ahead and go to Netflix for that. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you basically synopsis, how I felt about it, and my overall review. So Look Both Ways is about this girl named Natalie. Her life changes at this one moment because she has a one-night stand with her friend. She doesn't feel good, so at grad night, her friend Kara brings her a pregnancy test, and this is where the timeline splits. It's either she gets pregnant or she doesn't. The version that gets pregnant stays in Texas. The version that doesn't moves to LA with Kara. So in both timelines, you have the same characters but in a different situation. For example, the Texas timeline, Gabe and Natalie move in together with their parents. Kara goes to LA and meets this woman. That woman becomes her roommate. This roommate is her neighbor in the other timeline above her. But I think in both versions she gets with this woman, so it's almost like it's destiny. And in both versions or both timelines, she meets or runs into a man named Jake. But in the version that goes to LA is the one that ends up with Jake. They do break up at one point because of a lack of connection, both metaphorically and literally, but they get back together. So, in general, this movie is okay. I prefer Sliding Doors. If you haven't heard of that, that's a 1988. That's a 1998 movie with Gwyneth Paltrow where her timeline splits when she goes to catch a train. Version of her catches her man. Doing the horizontal tango with someone that's not her. And there's a version of her that doesn't catch the train, but still eventually doesn't like him, and she's like skeptical, and both have a very different ending, but it's a great movie. I recommend it. This movie, Look Both Ways, is cute. The ending is a little predictable. If you don't mind me saying, the ending basically is the Texas version of Natalie, the one that has the baby, ends up, fast forward towards the credits basically, she ends up marrying Gabe, telling him that I do love you, even though I pushed you towards another woman who you almost married. I do love you, Gabe. This moment was cute, like really, really cute. He was like, finally. I was like, finally? She was like, finally? He's like, yes, finally you admit your feelings for me? Like, duh, I knew that. And even at one point, like, when she was okay with them being engaged to the point where she got them a wedding gift, you could see in that scene the way he was longingly looking at her like, I'd rather be marrying you, girl. So that's how that side of the story ends. She does get with him. That relationship he had with the girl Miranda ends. She admits her love for him, and they get married. And also, she had a short that was called A Night Owl, which was based off of their experiences raising her daughter. That gets picked up by the film festival in Texas, and that helps her with her career, so her career advances through that. With the LA version of Natalie, she ends up back with Jake. They broke up because of a misconnection, quite literally and metaphorically, and they move in together. And then with that version, she also had a great job, but kind of gets fired. This part kind of confused me because she came to Nia Long after Nia Long finally, I'm saying Nia Long, but her character's named Lucy. She came to Nia Long like, hey, can you look at my portfolio? She's tried multiple times, and she was like, no, I don't want to see that. I want coffee. But eventually she was like, all right, let me see it. So she reviews her portfolio with her, and she doesn't like it. She says it's derivative of other people's work, so you need to find your voice. And Natalie's like, huh, yeah, good feedback. How do I find my voice? Can you help me with that? And Nia Long's like, well, when I worked as an assistant at Pixar, I was busy, trying to help everyone find their voice that I lost mine. So I left, I quit, and that's how I was able to do what I am today. And so both Natalie and us were like, did she just fire her or encourage her to quit? That part's a little confusing for me, so if you've seen this movie, let me know. What happened there? Didn't entirely go well, but what happened? But in the end, she makes a short film about birds. For some reason, both versions of Natalie's make an animation about birds, whether if it's a night owl or literal birds getting a tattoo for some reason. And that also gets picked up by the film festival. So in both timelines, her career goes well. In both timelines, she ends up with a man. And in one of the timelines, she has the baby. Or not has, but is pregnant, has the baby. Other version didn't at all. But, so what I took from this movie is maybe your life can be great regardless of kids. Which is like, okay. A lot of people have been giving this movie a 5-star rating, but I kind of agree with the ones that are 1 and 2 stars. This movie was it was kind of forgettable. You don't need to watch it again, and the ending was predictable, but it was cute, and also the guy that plays Gabe is freaking fine. So if I was to watch it again, I'd watch it for him. And allegedly, the little girl changes ethnicity throughout the movie. I didn't see that, but if you see it, this movie, or if you watch it again or first time, let me know, because I didn't notice that. I was just trying to keep up with the timelines. Anyways, so that was a very rambly video because that movie was a little bit of a lot in the sense where I didn't know how to keep up. You really had to watch it. It's not really a popcorn movie because you have to mentally keep track of who is who and which timeline is what. Let me know what you thought of this movie, if you saw it, or did you see Sliding Doors? Either or would do. And let me know any other movies or TV shows you'd like me to see. For more storytime, food, and entertainment, please subscribe and like. And as usual, stay curious, my friends.